If you consider yourself spiritual, chances are you are single-handedly keeping yourself from the life that you want because you think manifestation is about affirmation, breath work, and nervous system regulation. But manifestation has nothing to do with any of it. And see, this is what a lot of people don't want to hear, is that spirituality, as it relates to healing, and healing being a journey even, has ran its course. It served its purpose. We are no longer in the space of healing anymore. Now we are shifted to embodiment. And this is where nervous system navigation comes in, because nervous system regulation is part of the patriarchal agenda to keep us in that same narcissistic loop of thinking that things are supposed to be any certain way at any certain moment. If you have a bad day, then that means that you did something wrong. If you are seeing the opposite of what you expect, that means that you aren't properly manifesting a better experience. But that's all an illusion, because there's nothing regular about the state of your emotions. Your frequency oscillates. That's what makes it a frequency. It oscillates. So it goes up and down every single day and throughout the day even. So your outside world is not dependent on what is going on internally, but it does reflect it. So when you are living a life that you feel like does not reflect your authenticity, that means that you need to reflect back on your frequency. You need to observe your way of thinking, because if you are dependent on the outside world and external reality, then you are carrying an inherited belief system based on religion, which was given to you epigenetically by patriarchy, that tells you that you need to seek outside yourself in order to confirm that you are on alignment with your frequency. And this is where a lot of spiritual people get messed up, because you're not going to breathe your way through a new timeline or identity. The only way for you to achieve that new reality is for you to act in alignment with your new and improved way of thinking. And see, a lot of people run from their emotions because they've been so patterned by stagnancy. They're so used to just expecting things to shift just because that's the way they want things to be. And this is why a lot of spiritual people don't often go on to experience generational wealth or even experience positive cash flow or things of that nature, because they are basing their success off of how the outside world looks, and that's the illusion. When you are able to manifest wealth through your nervous system, that's when you start to navigate your way through each dimension. You're not necessarily leaping, but you are actively traveling through these portals by way of observation. And this is where quantum physics comes in, because when you focus on something or when you pay attention to it, that's when it starts to manifest. But anything that takes place in between is not a consequence. It's just information. And spiritual people are so programmed to think that if you just wait, if you just be still, if you just breathe, if you do this and that, if you regulate, because you're always supposed to be at peace, that they don't realize that manifestation is a thing that happens internally. You manifest instantly based on your ability to shift yourself back into your authentic way of being. So if you are angry today, if you wake up angry, then you manifest based on that anger, which means that you aren't looking around you trying to confirm why you're angry. You're accepting that anger is here to visit you, and you're using that to go about your day anyway. See, a lot of us as spiritual people, we get stuck in thinking that we're supposed to separate ourselves from whatever that day's emotion is. You're supposed to navigate your way or regulate your way through uncomfortable experiences. But really, you're just supposed to sit with them, because what a lot of people don't realize is the only reason you feel emotional and you feel like there needs to be a shift is because you're experiencing boredom, and boredom has been programmed as danger because that is the life that patriarchy gave to women. If you aren't producing babies, if you aren't washing clothes, if you aren't creating things, if you're in corporate America, if you aren't hitting numbers, all of these patriarchal conclusions that's embedded in our nervous system that tells us if we aren't doing something, if we aren't trying to mitigate, if we aren't trying to suppress something, then we aren't producing real output. And see, that's the system that is collapsing. And that's why a lot of us feel like we need to be quitting our jobs and finding another creative way to make money. But in order for you to do that, before you even come to me, you need to be ready and prepared to surrender yourself from those outdated spiritual ideologies.